In chapter 2991, the ongoing tension between Liberty, Serenity, and the Brown family is laid bare as the sisters discuss the challenges of protecting Sony from his father's toxic influence. The chapter begins with Serenity, now alone in Zachary's office, taking a moment to reflect on the changes in her life and the lives of those around her. She sends a message to her sister Liberty, informing her that Duncan and Sonia are on their way to the airport and will arrive in Jensburg by evening. Liberty quickly calls Serenity back to confirm the details, expressing her anticipation of reuniting with her son and Duncan for dinner. The conversation soon turns to the encounter with Hank at Sony's kindergarten. Liberty, aware of Hank's unpredictable behavior, inquires if he had tried to see Sony. Serenity recounts the morning's events, sharing her suspicion that Hank had deliberately gone to the kindergarten under the pretext of being nearby to check on Sony. She observes how Hank appeared jealous upon seeing the close bond between Duncan and Sony, who now seemed like a father and son. His attempts to take Sonia away were thwarted by the boy's insistence on going to Jensburg with Duncan instead. This interaction underscores the growing disconnect between Hank and his son Sony. Sony, despite his young age, is perceptive enough to sense the genuine care and affection from Duncan, contrasting sharply with the manipulative behavior he witnesses from his father and the Brown family. The little boy's reluctance to visit the Browns is a clear indication of his discomfort with them, fueled by their constant attempts to exploit him. Liberty and Serenity delve deeper into the toxic dynamics of the Brown family, reflecting on how they have consistently tried to take advantage of Sony. She recounts how Lucas used to bully Sony, a behavior that persists despite Sony's growing strength and resilience, thanks to his martial arts training. The sisters agree that the Browns, especially Chelsea, have always been selfish and manipulative. Chelsea's audacity in coaxing Sony to give her money to bail out her struggling business is particularly infuriating to them, highlighting the lengths the Browns will go to exploit a child. The conversation reveals Liberty's deep sense of regret for having once trusted the Browns. She reflects on how they had deceived her and Serenity before her marriage, pretending to be a good and caring family. However, once Liberty became pregnant and married Hank, their true colors emerged, showing them to be selfish and manipulative. Her realization of the Browns' true nature strengthens her resolve to protect Sony from their influence. Despite the challenges, she has remained steadfast in her decision to prioritize Sony's well being above all else. She shares with Serenity how she has always respected Sony's decisions, particularly his reluctance to visit the Browns. The only time she persuaded Sony to go to Hank was when Hank was injured and hospitalized, and even then, it was out of a sense of duty rather than genuine care. She knew that despite his faults, Hank was still Sony's biological father, and she wanted her son to have the chance to see him one last time if the worst should happen. Liberty's reflections in this chapter highlights her determination to move on from the toxic environment of the Brown family. She has started a new life, free from the manipulations and deceit that once plagued her marriage. The chapter ends with a sense of quiet triumph for Liberty, who has not only broken free from the Browns, but has also empowered Sony to make his own decisions about whom he wants in his life.